Hello everyone, this is Saurabh Sharma. Let's start with the current affairs of 18th of January 2022. Today we have our first topic coming from science and technology background about ultraviolet germicidal irradiation system, UVGIS. This is we have to talk about. The context is after the successful trials of UVC disinfection technology in railways, Parliament House and AC buses, it is now open for general rollout for use by common masses. UVC is ultraviolet C-type rays. UVC technology developed by Ministry of Science and Technology through CSIR-CSIO, Central Scientific Instruments Organization, is totally effective for mitigation of airborne transmission of SARS-CoV-2, and it will also remain relevant in post-COVID area. So technically, this UVC is working as a disinfectant. And how this principle of disinfection working? It is changing the DNA structure of microbes so that their tendency of doubling or multiplying shall be reduced, or almost nil it will be made. Therefore, no multiple growth, exponential growth or other spread of this microbes can be, technically this can be captured and controlled. So this is the basic idea of this topic. Now, what is irradiation? We have already discussed it when we were talking about the mangoes. Irradiation facility were inspected by the United States Agriculture Development Department inspectors. So when did they come? So this topic of irradiation came. That is, it is the process by which an object is exposed to radiation. An object is exposed to radiation. This process of irradiation is that ultraviolet germicidal irradiation. Friends, this topic I am just quoting these sentences from the page itself, but trust me, bear with me in this video, you will be understanding this entire concept easily. This is not a tough topic. Even a person coming from non-science background will also be understanding it, because these topics, sometimes the application principles, some bits are coming in science and technology section of UPSC prelims, and it is making a difficulty for the students. So please just focus on the article. Ultraviolet germicidal irradiation, that is UVGI, is a disinfection method that uses short wavelength ultraviolet C or UVC light to kill or inactive microorganisms by destroying nucleic acids and disrupting their DNA, leaving them unable to perform vital cellular functions. Simple, in a layman's language, we have three types of ultraviolets: A, B and C. This has the longest wavelength. This is the wavelength. And as we move further, this wavelength is reduced. And hence, when the wavelength is reduced, then the time taken for this rays to travel and to hit the object is reduced automatically, because now it is just traveling in a transverse waves. So these peaks are very closer. In this way, always remember, when the wavelength is more, the intensity is less. The intensity is less because it will come late. Let's say if it is coming at 12 o'clock, then it will come at 12:01, it will come at 12:02, but it is coming at 12:01, 12.02, 12.03. So this intensity is basically less. But when the wavelength is short, means the wavelength, this is the wavelength. This distance is wavelength. This distance. When this wavelength is small, then the intensity is high. So it means wavelength is inversely proportional to intensity. I'm not a very scientific person or like us. Very much knowledgeable person in science, but I can understand this. When the wavelength is more, intensity is less, and when the wavelength is short, intensity is high. This is what we have here. So the topic states that Ultraviolet germicidal irradiation is a disinfection method that uses short wavelength. It means that here the intensity, this short wavelength, this is the distance, this short wavelength is penetrated, and when the wavelength is less, then intensity means the potential of hitting the object is very high, so high intensity. When the short wavelength ultraviolet, or always remember this, A has the longest wavelength, B comparatively lesser, and C has the shortest. So it is penetrated with ultraviolet C light or rays to kill or inactivate microorganisms. Why do they get inactivated? Because their cellular functions gets changed or basically made inactive. Hence, the DNA pattern or coding is amended or destroyed. Therefore, they are unable to perform their vital cellular functions, and UVGI is used in a variety of applications such as food, air and water purification. We have already seen in case of mangoes, then we have already seen in case of air and water purification too. Right? Moving on, what is UV radiation? This is a long topic, so please just bear with me. UV radiation, all radiation is a form of energy, always remember. And here we have three things to remember for PT. Let me just make some space for you here so that you can easily identify and understand what we have important for prelims. So for prelims we have that UV germicidal irradiation uses ultraviolet C. First point, prelims. The expression might state that all the three packets or forms of UV are used in irradiation. No, that will be wrong. No A, no B, but C. Then it uses short wavelength because C has the shortest wavelength, and wherever the short wavelength, it is inversely to intensity. Then high intensity, penetration is very high. Inactivate microorganisms, and where the attacks is DNA. Because DNA is basically carrying the information and the protein there present, and their cell contains the nucleic acids, leaving them unable to perform vital cellular functions. So here, three things are important for prelims: short wavelength, ultraviolet C, and it deactivates the DNA, or it basically attacks the DNA. All radiation is a form of energy, most of which is invisible to the human eye. Invisible, important. UV radiation is only one form of energy radiation, and it is measured on a scientific scale called the electromagnetic spectrum. Note, this is not a form of energy because it is not coming in direct use for us. Measured on a scientific scale called the electromagnetic spectrum. UV radiation is the portion of the EM spectrum between X-ray and visible light. UV radiation is basically between the X-rays and visible light. This is the UV rays on the electromagnetic radiation spectrum. How is radiation classified on the electromagnetic spectrum? See, electromagnetic radiation is all around us, though we can only see some of it. All electromagnetic radiation is made up of minute packets of energy or particle called photons. Radiations have, let's say this is the radiation, so it has smaller packets of energy which are known as photons, which travel in a wave-like pattern. This is the wave-like pattern, and move at the speed of light. So these UV radiations or electromagnetic radiations travel at the speed of light. Now, here this is the wave. These are the waves, transverse waves, ups and downs and ups and downs. You can see that here this is the wavelength C, wavelength. If you see consistently, the wavelength is reducing here, and by coming here it is largely packed, so this wavelength is reduced considerably. And when the wavelength is reducing, the distance between the peaks is reducing as well. So when wavelength is reduced at par here, the peaks are almost coming closer. And whenever the peaks are coming closer, that means that it will be hit, or it will be hitting the object accordingly with the same or with the higher intensity. First, let's say this peak is hitting a person at 12 o'clock. The next peak will hit at 12.01 second. The next will be 12.02 second, 0.3 second. Then, and here, by the time we are coming here, the hitting distance or hitting a gap is of 1 minute. So you can see that higher the wavelength, shorter the intensity or lesser the intensity, and lesser the wavelength, higher the intensity. This is the difference here. Now, we can see that radio waves are here that has the maximum wavelength, so that it can travel to the longer distance. So that is why we have this radio stations and these wavelengths are different, and the channels we have, so these waves travel for the longer distance. Then we have these microwaves. So you just have to keep this descending order or ascending order in terms of intensity or wavelength respectively in mind, that radio waves, let's say if you are seeing it from the perspective of wavelength, so then we have the radio wavelengths maximum, then microwaves, then infrared waves or rays, or then visible light, then ultraviolet rays, then X-rays, and the least we have is gamma rays. So gamma rays basically has the shortest wavelength and highest intensity, because when wavelength is this way, so then definitely, let's say that these tops are punches, so the punches will be that high, right? Now, so you can see that atomic nuclei have the shortest wavelength but highest intensity. So that is why the reaction time is absolutely less, and it starts multiplicating or replicating with highest effect when it comes in the air contact. Now, at the bottom of the spectrum, radio waves have photons with low energy. Why low energy? Because it has the lowest intensity. You can see that peaks have the highest distance. So their wavelengths are long with peaks that are far apart. These are the peaks and far apart. Let me just make a quick space for you guys to understand, so that it is not making any confusion for you. Better. Now, the photons of microwaves have higher energies comparatively, followed by infrared waves have higher energy. So followed by infrared have higher energy, then UV rays have higher energy, X-rays have higher energy. At the top of the spectrum, gamma rays have photons with very high energies and short wavelength, with peaks that are close together. And peaks that are close together means high punches and intensity, punches with intensity. Please repeatedly see the video if you do not get it in the first phase, because this topic has a very small principle of wavelength and intensity, and if you understand it, then you will easily understand that how the ozone layer works, how the sunburn we have, how the skin cancer is happening to us, and how come this ultraviolet rays are harmful to us. All these things will be clear to you. Then what are the different types of UV radiation? The most common form of UV radiation is sunlight, which produces three main types of UV. We have discussed A, B, C. Always remember, it has highest wavelength and is equal to shortest intensity. Then here, considerably lower wavelength, and then considerably high intensity. and it has the highest, that means the shortest wavelength and highest energy or intensity, whatever you say. UVA rays have the longest wavelength, followed by B and C rays, which have the shortest wavelength. So always remember, it is basically the opposite to this word. So if it has shortest here in the wavelength, then highest energy. If it has highest wavelength, then shortest energy. Simple. While UVA and UVB rays are transmitted through the atmosphere, all UVC and some UVB rays are absorbed by Earth's ozone layer. This ozone layer is lying in the lower part of stratosphere, up to the distance of 10 to 50 kilometers in range. So here we say that UVA is passed through the ultraviolet Earth ozone layer. Ozone symbol is O3, never write O2, O2 is what, oxygen. UVA is basically passed through this O3 layer, but UVB rays are transmitted through the atmosphere, and all UVC and some UVB rays, because this is some UVB because it is not that risky for us, but this is highly risky for us. UVC, shortest wavelength and highest energy. This UVC can penetrate deepest in the human skin. Had their intensity been high, UVE, A and B, then it would also get through our skin pores, the epidermis, the outermost skin layer. Right? Hope the concept is getting clear. Very easy concept if you just see the principle, which one is working here. So, most of the UV rays you come in contact with are UVA with a small amount of UVB. This is basically we are coming in contact with. Next, ultraviolet B rays have a short wavelength that reaches the outer layer of the skin. UVB reaches to epidermis, and UVA rays have a longer wavelength that can penetrate the middle layer of the skin, the dermis. Out of the three types of UV radiation named A, B, C, short wavelength UVC damages and alters DNA of all potentially harmful microbes, including virus, making them incapable of replication. UVC, because it has the highest, shortest wavelength with the highest energy. Here you can see the ultraviolet light that penetrates our skin is made up of two types of radiation, A rays and B rays. So A rays is going deeper inside, but B rays is just hitting till the outer skin layer of epidermis. This A is not that harmful for us. It is also considerably not that harmful of us if it is not prolonged exposure, but if UVC has the prolonged exposure, then it is the most dangerous for us. Now, what effect does UV radiation have on our body or my body? Both UVA, B rays can cause damage to your skin. Sunburn is a sign of short-term overexposure. Whenever you go to Goa, let's say, there you get the sunburn because of short-term exposure, while premature aging and skin cancer are side effects of prolonged UV exposure. But generally, humans today in the modern world are, and through the help of media, social media, self-awareness, readings and XYZ, and multiplicity of sources of knowledge available, we understand that this medical precautions is very much needed. So we generally try to keep ourselves indoors, and we try to keep our faces hide when we are going out, and try to wear the shades. And in this manner, actually, we are trying to keep our skin not too long exposure to the direct lights. Now, sunlight is not the only source of UV radiation you may encounter. Other sources include. So it is important for prelims that what are the sources where you can get the UV. Tanning booths, mercury vapor lighting. So this lighting also has this UV rays. Mercury vapor lighting often found in stadiums and school gyms. Some halogen, fluorescent and incandescent lights, and some types of lasers. Right? Now, are there health benefits of exposure to UV radiation? Exposure to UVB radiation helps the skin produce a type of vitamin D, vitamin D3, which plays an important role along with calcium in bone and muscle health. So this UVB has this application in the synthesization or making or production of this vitamin D3. Actually, it activates the adipose tissues beneath the cells of our skin, and in this manner, this vitamin D3, according to some internal chemical composition and this mechanism of body, is this vitamin D3 is produced or activated, or whatever you say in the medical terms, but it helps in the production of vitamin D3, and that's how our bones get stronger. Or this issue is generally found in the ladies, females, menstrual females mostly. The sun's ultraviolet B rays hit cholesterol in the skin cells, providing the energy for vitamin B3 synthesized to occur. However, the amount of UVB exposure needed to obtain a benefit depends on several factors. So what are the factors determining how much UV you are exposed to, including geography. UV rays are strongest in areas close to the equator, of course, because here this area remains mostly under the influence of skin. That is why it is known as torrid zone. Because here, almost every year or throughout the year, we have sunlight. Because let's say this is the equator, so up to 5 to 10 degree north and 5 to 10 degree south, the exposure is very high. So hence, the strongest in areas close to the equator. Because the sun is directly over the equator, UV rays only travel a short distance through the atmosphere to reach these areas. UV radiation is also the strongest near the equator because ozone in these areas is naturally thinner. Yes. Beautiful concept. Let's say this is the Earth. So the layer of ozone has this effect here. This covering is considerably of thinner size, but here it is broader at the poles. Pardon my drawing. I was a bad student in drawing classes. I used to be an outstanding student because my teacher always made me stand outside the class. UV radiation is also the strongest near the equator because ozone in these areas is naturally thinner. So the absorption is lesser here in this region. Altitude. Altitude means height. High altitudes have greater UV exposure because there is less atmosphere to absorb UV rays. Over the mountains, we have thinner air or thin air, because in the cold regions we have thin air, less atmospheric breath, and hence this UV exposure is high. Time of the year: during the summer months, the sun is in a more direct angle, resulting in a greater amount of UV radiation. Time of the day: UV is most intense at noon, when the sun is at its highest point in the sky and UV rays have the least distance to travel through the atmosphere. Because when it comes to slanting heights or slanting rays, the rays have to travel longer distance. But when it comes to straight, so the penetration is high and the distance travel is lesser. Weather condition: many people believe that you cannot get sunburn on a cloudy day. This is simply not the case. Even under cloud cover, it is possible to damage your skin and eyes and cause long-term damage. It is important that you protect yourself with sunscreen even in cloudy weather. Reflection: UV exposure is also greater in areas of snow. Yes, people generally who are prolonged exposure in snow areas, they actually get snow blindness. White snow blindness or white blindness. Exposure is also greater in areas of snow, sand, pavement, grass, and water due to the reflective properties of these sources. Because let's say the rays are coming here, so they reflect back from the object. Disinfection by ultraviolet light. For the past 100 years, since science has recognized the bactericide effects of the ultraviolet area of the electromagnetic spectrum, bactericide, that means it is killing bacteria. The specific wavelengths responsible for these reactions are situated between 240 or 280 nanometers located. Between 240 to 280 nanometers referred to as NM. With the peak wavelength at 265 nanometer, they are known as UVC. So this is basically some mathematical underlying measurements of these principles. So hence we have to keep this in mind, that 240 to 280 nanometers. When a microorganism, most viruses, bacteria, spores, cysts, etc., genetic material, DNA and RNA is exposed to UVC, the nuclei of the cells are modified due to photolytic process. In result, cell division and by extension reproduction is prevented. Cells are modified due to photolytic processes. Photolytic means exposure of rays. Photo means here photons or electromagnetic radiation. It can be used to disinfect liquids, surfaces, and even gases, air. UV disinfection is a physical process rather than a chemical disinfectant. PT, important, very important, because the simple statement can actually trap you. UV disinfection is a physical process rather than a chemical disinfectant. UV disinfection, here physical process, because the physical properties of the microbes are being changed. UV disinfection has a shorter contact time when compared with other disinfectants. However, there is at least one disadvantage. Organisms can sometimes repair and reverse destructive effects of UV through a repair mechanism known as photoreactivation. So let's say if there are working fine cells, then it can damage the, or it can alter the DNA mechanism. But let's say there are already an altered DNA, then after exposing it to the radiation process, this can actually be rebuilt. And let's say after getting the exposure, the cell become like this. So that will be an issue. If the luck is bad, so then definitely photoreactivation will happen. Or in the absence of light, known as dark repair. Can UVC help prevent COVID-19 transmission by reducing contamination? Based on existing evidence, we believe so. Here's why. All bacteria and viruses tested to date, many hundreds over the years, including other coronaviruses, respond to UV disinfection. That means they are getting down in front of or to the disinfectant process. Some organisms are more susceptible to UVC disinfection than others, but all tested so far do respond at appropriate doses. So this has frequency and range where bacteria, viruses, etc. disinfection is responding. UVC disinfection is often used with other technologies in a multi-barrier approach to ensure that whatever pathogen is not killed by one method, say filtering or cleaning, is inactivated by another UVC. So here, this is the principle of UV A, B, C, and how this is working. What is the theoretical explanation of this wavelength process, how the wavelength and intensity is interconnected, how it is working through when it is passing through the ozone layer, how it is important and bad for human health, and how it is making a good change in the form of calcium D3 production and vitamin D3 production, and how it is basically working on the coronavirus disinfection process. This is what we have seen in this entire video about this topic.